Alright, so it's almost at the end of the day today. Gabino just got here. We're about to put in some work. Gonna go get a Red Bull to get some energy for a couple hours. I checked out some offices today. We're still looking at offices, but the one that we went to was in a really bad, I mean, it was an okay location, but it looked, how do I say this? There's no other way to say this other than it's kind of ghetto. You know what? I decided to go, so I hopped Okay, just finished posting Lazy Sunday. I think it's time for work. Okay, so let me explain exactly what we're doing right now. Okay, but before I go there, I wanted to tell you how we got to where we're at now. Okay, about almost 2 years ago now, we started a company called Watchman Delivery LLC. Me coming from a background of property management, I saw that packages were a huge dilemma, and the problem was just going to continue to, grow. Partnered up with a friend of mine, you might know him by the name of Gabino. He's always on here. And he was in the business of deliveries. He does deliveries of kitchen equipment and also manufacturing, but a lot of deliveries. So I knew that, he knew his way around Houston. So we got together and we came up with a plan on how we're going to create some kind of software where we can have people log in, ask for our service, they can pay through there, everything's automated, and then their packages will then be reshipped to us, and we will deliver it to them in the evening from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. when they're actually home. Okay, so we did everything. Remember though, you have to do everything right. So we try to see if we needed any permits, any licenses. You don't need any licenses in Texas to do a delivery company. You do need insurance. So to get $1 million policy, it's going to be around $1,000 depending on how many employees you have and the kind of equipment that you need to have insured. In order to do deliveries, all you need is a vehicle and a driver and somebody that's willing to deliver. Right, so we did it together. We did all our paperwork. We got our insurance. We got covered. We also filed in to incorporate the company, so it's Watchman Delivery LLC. So our personal assets are protected if we're sued, which is, I recommend that everybody does that. You don't want people going after your personal assets just because you're trying to grow your business. And along the way you will have a mistake. Not saying that I had any mistakes, because I didn't, and I'm pretty proud of that. But, you know, always want to protect yourself first, of course. So yes. So since then, we've been growing it, doing the marketing all ourselves. And we grew our team by 2, actually. And one of them came up with a few ideas with us, and we decided to run with it. So Watchman Delivery was in trouble because Amazon decided to do residential lockers for the residents of huge, you know, let's say residential property homes. They came in, Amazon's game over. If you're challenging against Amazon, I mean, look at eBay. They're having a hard time with Amazon, and they're huge at some point. So we decided to pivot. If you don't know what pivoting is when you're heading in this direction, you pivot, you go a different direction. I got the technique from the Lean Startup book. It's a book. I'll put the link somewhere in the description. If you're into startups or growing your own business, I really highly suggest that book. So yeah, we pivoted and we changed the way that we generate income. We still actually do the deliveries and we still do the service, but we just added a feature to it that will completely change the way that we go cash positive. So where are we at now? Okay, so we pivoted. We have, for what we're doing now, I can't say it through here because of legal issues and things that we just don't have the paperwork for, so we're not allowed to call ourselves that yet. But yeah, all the paperwork is done, sent to the Secretary of State, waiting on her approval, and another commission that's out there that we cannot speak of yet. But it will happen soon. Everything's done. We're just waiting for them to send it out, which takes forever. But yeah, so now what we're doing is redesigning a new website, because you can do anything through WordPress. I don't know if you knew. You know, there's a lot of things out there like Wix, there's Weebly, there's what else is out there? There's another one that's like really popular. It's called Squarespace. So yeah, all those things out there, they're for super beginners. Like if you're basically doing like a beginning page, but if you're trying to do a website for your business, I would highly suggest that you go with an open platform like WordPress, and then you want to plug in, use WooCommerce for your website. If you use WooCommerce, it just turns it into an e-commerce site to where you can use Stripe or PayPal. People can definitely automate. Just go in there or Google or just put in the search for a plugin, search for WooCommerce. They have all types of plugins. I mean, automated, set up appointments, set up autopay. You can do anything through there as long as the service is well descripted in your website and there's a form for them to pay. It's easy. You don't have to waste thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So where we're at today. Okay, so all the paperwork is done. Today I went out and I looked for an office. The one that we went to go see today was not that good. It was kind of ghetto. I mentioned that earlier and it was horrible. So we're still looking, but we have to stay within a budget. That's another thing that you need to concentrate on is your accounting. Make sure that you're not spending a lot of money, and then if you're doing what I'm doing, you know, you work full time, and then if you do what I'm doing, you work full time, and then you're also working on the side to create this business. Hey man, good for you. I'm doing it. It's working out. It's working. Some things are happening, and it's awesome. Yeah, you don't want to use a lot of your own, you don't want to use a lot of funds. You don't want to put yourself in trouble. So try to cut as much money from a project as possible. For example, website takes thousands of dollars to create. Research it yourself, educate yourself on YouTube or any other platform that would educate you on making a website, or learn how to code, and then do it yourself and save yourself thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Finding an office. How am I going to pay rent? Yeah, exactly, right? So put a couple of guys together, teamed up with somebody that's already, you know, running a successful business, and wants to venture in with us. So there's another portion being paid there, so that takes care of that. Yeah, so we're out here. So right now, the thing that takes forever is doing this website, making sure that everything's perfect, because you don't want no kind of amateur things on there, because people run away from things that look amateur, you know? Like you, if you saw something that looked kind of shady or amateur, like it wasn't done by a professional person, you would run away so fast. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. Oh, by the way, I mentioned coding. I cannot code for the life of me, but with working with WordPress, what WordPress does is that it gives you the option to basically click and drag. But once you click and drag it and you open the file and you want to insert the source or the picture, you can literally just see the code and then it says source and replace the source with whatever you want to input in there. And by doing that so many times, you kind of learn slowly and slowly and slowly how to code. All right, guys, so we're gonna get to work. Later, man. Tomorrow, same time. Actually, earlier. That's gonna be it. Something just fell. It's just the pages right now, so it's like backlinking everything. So like, let's say where everything's gonna be backlinked to the About Us page, to the More About Us page, and just, you know, doing the backlinks to all the buttons and everything. So basically what we do is design the page without it being clickable anywhere, and then once we already are done with the page completely, we then go back in there, edit the buttons, and then, you know, put the links to where they're supposed to take you. So did a lot of linking today, and that's where we're at right now. Still in the process of creating this page, making it the best that we could possibly can. On the, you know, on the office part of it, we're still searching. We do have a budget. So right now we have a budget of $1,200 a month for an office. But we're trying to stay within the inner loop, and that is really hard to do because you also don't want to get a space that doesn't look that professional. We kind of want a modern look to the space. So in our office. So yeah, that's where we're at, and we're still looking.